As I say, there's a few more people expecting to be on, but I'm sure will join in the next couple of minutes or so. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar this warm Tuesday afternoon. We've got on the call our CEO, Ben Bagnulo, to talk about and to go through with you the changes we've got coming up on the 1st of July 2026. Quite big changes with the introduction of a €3 customs fee on entry for packages into the EU. At the end, we're going to go through hopefully everything you need to know, but you may have quite specific questions. So we've got, if you hover over your screen, you'll see that there's a chat button right at the bottom. If you click on that, it'll open up the chat on the right-hand side. And if you've got any specific questions, just feel free to put the chat in there. It might be answered later on in the presentation, but it might not. So put the question in there. And what we'll do at the end is I'll just host a Q&A session with Ben at the end to answer any other questions we've got outstanding that are perhaps not covered fully or you may not have understood in the presentation. So no question's a silly question. Please feel free to answer any questions at all and we'll go through that at the end. But I'd just like to introduce Ben Bagnulo, CEO of Samos, who's going to go through this for you. We've got about half an hour probably. So I think probably the presentation or the details on it will be over probably a little bit quicker than that. So we're probably banking on that, including questions and answers. And there might be questions from other people that you might find interesting. So it's worth hanging on to that through to the end. Okay, so introduce Ben. Ben is going to go through this with you.
Thanks, Simon. Can you all hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you probably all have heard in the news and on social media and sort of various industry information, EU custom changes come into effect on the 1st of July. And yeah, it's affecting low value shipments, so shipments under 150 euros. And there's also additional compliance and data that they're expecting from carriers or from customs clearance agents as well. So it's quite a big change. Cost to you as a shipper or a retailer, and also additional hoops to jump through for us as a carrier or customs broker. Hold on, trying to get to the next slide. Yeah, I guess summary wise, the EU changing the rules. There's a lot of shipments coming in that are attracting no duty currently because they're under the 150 euro threshold. That's viewed as unfair in many areas. So a parcel coming in declared at 10 euros without under the 150 euro threshold has no duty applied. So that's viewed as unfair to local retailers in the EU. So basically, for that set of parcels, they're looking to bring in a flat charge. They call it a duty charge, which is a bit misleading, but it's a flat charge per HS code for orders under 150 euros. Yeah, so what's changing? Just to be specific and just to sort of repeat, this is only affecting orders under 150 euros. So orders over 150 euros in value largely are going to move as they have been, But orders under 150 euros in value will get a charge of €3 handling fee per HS code chapter. So that's the first 6 digits of an HS code. So you have two parcels, all with one matching, you got one order, all with 2 items with a matching HS code up to the 6th digit. That receipt will attract 1 charge. You have a pencil and a pair of socks in a box, so 2 very different products, not close at all in the matching HS code chapter. They will receive €3 charge per each different item in that box. So that's kind of how it's going to be worked out as. If you add an IOSS number, the VAT will still be charged to you as normal, but a €3 handling fee will be paid at the border via a carrier, so someone like us, and that will be returned back to you as a charge. So you'll pay that charge. You will get that charge back from us as you do with your current shipping process. So that's sort of how it's going to work. Hold on. Yeah, I guess this is repeating again what I've just said. So going back to the set of parcels that this affects, just it's only for parcels under 150 euros in value where the change is going to be made. And that is basically a flat €3 duty charge per unique HS code of up to 6 digits. Yeah, and that's basically it. It's a pretty straightforward process. There's a lot of hoops for us as carriers and with our customs broker to jump through, which are additional data requirements. But because of the way we've been operating over the years, we have a lot of data already. We've been used to providing detailed data by HS code, by product, by different categories, different types of products that take different kind of regulation to clear. So we've over the years we've had an experience with managing lots of data. So while this is a challenge for us, we have the base to work through this. So we expect our customers to be able to continue shipping as normal through after July 1st. The only difference will be the €3 charge for parcels under 150 euros in value per each unique HS code up to 6 digits. How you can business repair, the same thing. I guess I would say work with a shipper like Samos, where we're specialized and we focus on detail, we focus on data, we focus on making sure we can offer simple solutions to complex requirements. And it's going to be a change for sure. For customers sending lots of low value goods into Europe, this is a big impact. So if you're selling something that was €10 before, now it has to be €13 because of this charge. That is going to have an impact. But if you were selling goods, I would say a bit higher value, say €120 basket value, €3 charge on a €20 sell, €120 sell, while impactful, will be less impactful. So in summary, that's it. I don't know if you have any questions, but now would be the time to ask them, and we'll try to go through those. As Simon says, if you can ask them in the chat, that will be the best way to us to manage them, and we'll try to answer each and every one of them. Simon, can you see questions in the chat?
Yeah, no one's asked a question yet. It must have been. Oh, Barry's got one. You're going to put it in the chat, Barry. You can click on the chat at the bottom, and it should open up the chat on the right-hand side for you. If anybody's got any. I don't have right. There's one question that's come in. I don't have an IOSS number. How will this affect me?
Okay, so that's a good question. Can you can hear me, Simon, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it will be impactful because one of the key requirements is all shipments going into Europe now will definitely require an IOSS number. That's been the case for a while, but there's been some exceptions in a couple of countries entering Europe, which are now definitely not exceptions which can be used. So everything has to go in with an IOSS number. We recommend all our customers to get one if possible. Samos works with an EU intermediary as well. So we have an intermediary where we can use an IOSS number for some of our customers who, for some reason, cannot get one. We have that facility. We've been operating that for a while, coming up to July. So we will continue to do that. And I think anyone who needs to use that facility, I think we'll arrange a follow-up call to discuss the possibility of getting their own IOSS number. at some point. But ultimately, we recommend everyone, if they can get an iOS number, to use it. Coming up to July 1st, we have a solution to support our customers who don't have an iOS number yet, and packages will keep flowing through a Samos iOS number that we have set up through an EU intermediary. So that's, I don't know if that answers any questions. Any more questions, Simon?
Yeah, so that's good. We got another one which is very similar to that, really. What happens if a customer is not iOSS registered? So that's sort of similar, really, in a way to the answer to your previous one, yeah?
Yeah, so let me answer that one again. We would recommend going forward, considering these changes, iOS registration is a good thing if it's applicable to your business. We have a facility to offer an iOSS clearance through an EU partner. So we will be able to move your goods after the 1st of July and charge back the import VAT through iOSS and charge back the €3 duty charge that's come in. But the requirements going forward is for all shipments to have an iOSS number. We will be able to support, we'll continue to keep shipments moving. But if you're I would say for a fairly big size retailer, it would be the right thing to do to look at getting your own iOSS number as well, which we can support with too. There are some categories of goods as well that might be worth mentioning that cannot be cleared via iOSS. So those categories of goods, so for example, like some food and supplements, some perfumes, some cosmetics, etc., are excluded from iOSS. So those goods actually will be able to continue to flow as they do today, and they will not be cleared by iOSS. So the EU allows an exception for those goods because they're not able to be cleared via the iOSS route. So we do offer we'll offer a route for those goods as well. So they will continue to keep flowing as well.
Okay, great. We got another question in here. If we are already using Samos to ship to the EU, is there any change apart from the €3 charge per HS code? We might need to clarify the HS code group on that one as well, I think.
Yes. So if you're using us to ship to the EU today, we plan continuity. So after July 1st, as you've been operating with us, we'll continue. You're right. The difference is there will be a €3 charge per HS group category or HS code category. So that's the matching first 6 digits of the HS code. HS code goes up to 10 digits typically, but it's the first 6 digits that matter. So for example, if you're selling shoes, it's likely that the first 6 digits match on your shoes potentially. So you sold 3 pairs of shoes with matching HS codes up to the first 6 digits. That would only be 1 charge. If you were selling shoes, surfboards, and a pen in the same parcel, they would all be very different HS codes. So in a category like that, you would have €3 charge per item. So a parcel would have a €9 charge in a category where the first 6 digits on the HS code don't match. But in summary, we aim for continuity. So we will keep shipping for you as we have done. I think a development point for the future, if you don't have an iOSS number, we should talk about viability of you using your own iOSS number. But for the moment, we will use the Samos iOSS number that we have available, and we will continue to ship your parcels through as we have done.
Okay, great. So it's not per HS code per se, it's per HS code group. So that's an interesting one. So if you're shipping something similar that have the first same 6 digits, that's one €3 charge per the first 6 digit group of HS codes. Okay, it's interesting. This is an interesting one here. It's more of a comment than a question. Seems like to sell to the EU, you have to be within the EU.
I would say that is definitely the route. That seems the direction the direction of the train seems to be going. There's more and more hoops to jump through. But I would say the EU is not alone in this. We see this in all the markets that we're delivering to. So for the US example, there's quite a few challenges there. Um, for other locations, there's more and more regulation. And look, our strategy as a business and our what we aim to be is we aim to support middle to small size customers who need to navigate the challenges that are coming up these days in any market that you go to. So our strategy is to see the challenges coming, respond in any way possible, allow our customers to comply to them, and then continue to deliver your parcels. That's our strategy. And we do see that the complexity is getting stronger and stronger, or the compliance requirements are being harder and harder to harder to comply by. But so far we've been working through it. Reality is it's all data too. Data seems to be what's driving this. The world is driven more and more by data that's available. So our strategy too is being able to consume more and more data from our customers so we can have that data to pass at a parcel level or an item level to the various brokers around the world. So yeah.
So it's not necessarily seems like to sell to the EU, you have to be within the EU. I'm not sure that comment is meant really if it's better to relocate to the EU or to have stock based in the EU.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Next
Look,
one.
there is advantages to have stock in the EU, but it also comes with a cost.
That does come with a
Probably
cost, and
know.
it's a cost benefit, isn't it, of whether it's probably
Yeah,
easier in the long run to actually keep it here for
yeah.
smaller businesses. Certainly, without a shadow of a doubt. I hope that answered your comment. What about small customers with low volumes?
So
I guess,
we continue. Are you? I guess that relates to how Samos supports customers with low volumes.
well, is there
We
any
continue.
difference in the way that that's treated, I guess, in this process? You know,
Um, the the new rules apply to a customer sending one parcel or a million parcels. So if you sent one parcel a year, you would have to pay the €3 additional duty on that one parcel. If you sent a million parcels a year, likewise, in that category, you'd have to spend the €3 on each individual parcel being imported into the EU. Our strategy is to be able to support a customer even if they would only send one parcel a week or one parcel a month. So that is sort of what we've done from the beginning. We can, we do that in hopes that we would be able to support our customers as they grow. So as far as the service that Samos offers, we don't have any minimum. So if you did have one parcel to send that you needed us to send after July the 1st, we would still be able to support you if it's an e-commerce order going into Europe. So if you've got any specific questions on that, obviously I'd recommend you just getting in touch with us, and maybe if you've got any specific examples or criteria that you need to cover, get in touch with Simon or I, and we'd be happy to talk through.
certainly. Are there any fees, extra fees that are going to be introduced by Samos for this new process involving a €3 charge?
So we're aiming. It's a challenge to do this as a business, but we're aiming to keep our fee structure the same. So a shipping charge and the duty or import charges, whatever they may be, passed back to you. That's our aim. We will do this after July 1st, and we'll continue to do that. I think the caveat to that is depending on the requirement of how this pans out, I think that we could be forced to add additional fees, but we don't know how that's going to work yet. So we want to see when I say how that's going to work, there's a lot of data for us to process to enable continual flow of parcels after the 1st of July. And we're ready for that. And we built systems around that. But what I do say, preparing and doing is always two different things. So that's why I say there's a caveat. But at the moment, we expect the charges to continue as they are. So consistent charging as per our website. We've got a tariff there. I don't know if you've all seen it. And then, yeah, we pass the duty charges back to you as we have been, if you've been used to shipping with us. So we would forward the €3 back plus any VAT charges into the EU, or if you ship anywhere around the world, it's the same case.
Okay. Okay, so there's another quick, more of a comment than a question, but presume the other way to avoid having multiple HS codes is to find a broader one that encompasses individual components. So this is sort of consolidating the HS codes you use, so you have more HS codes that have the same 6 digits, initial 6 digits in common.
Yeah, I would always suggest that. Obviously, you have to make sure the HS codes matches the product that you're sending. And our customs broker, if they don't agree with the HS code upon entry, will re-rate it. So, for example, you put 2 HS codes, so 1 HS code for 2 different products. If the custom broker on entry decided, oh, those don't match exactly, and they wanted to re-rate that, they are within their liberty because they're at risk for declaring correctly or incorrectly. So in that case, if you'd had chosen very simplified HS codes and customs broker didn't agree with you, potentially you could get the €3 additional €3 charge anyway. But look, if you're declaring right and there are HS codes that your products can match or share, then I think that would be a smart thing to do, so you don't get multiple charges for unnecessarily, put it that way. Simon, you're on mute, I think.
Got it. Sorry about that. What about if we have small customers, and this is from a 3PL business. What about if we have small customers whose business is too small for them to bother with IOSS registration? Probably some clarity at that point.
So in that case, we continue to support customers who are non-IOSS registered, and we have a facility to do that. So we'll continue to do that. I would suggest if you're a 3PL, if you can get in contact with us directly, just to make sure we have it, all the I's and dotted and the T's crossed for your customers, because each of your customer will be a retailer in their own right. So we just need to make sure that we can support you correctly. But yes, we aim to continue to support customer shipping into the EU, no matter how small.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happens? So this is an interesting question because it's probably not as related, but it's worth clarifying. What happens to B2B export orders with an order value over €150? I guess
So
they may mean B2C, but B2B is mentioned.
So there's no change coming in for B2B and B2C orders over €150 in value. Duty will be applied ad valorem, as it always has been. So whatever the duty rate is on that HS code will be applied, and the VAT rate for that product as well will be applied. So those changes, there's no changes to products in that set, correct? So
Okay.
it's what we're talking about is purely a change for orders under €150 in value to consumers. That's the change that's coming in.
Okay, so over €150, it's carrying on as it always has done.
Correct.
Okay. So just confirm, this is another comment. Just to confirm, quantity does not affect the charge. It's the parent 6 digits, so 5 pairs of shoes with the same first 6-digit HS codes. I assume this is in the comment. Is one single charge of €3.
Correct.
Okay. Would a customer need an IOSS number if selling one parcel a week?
The way the EU rules have been set up for orders under 150 euros in value, yes, you would technically need an IOSS number. We can support you in that case as we have an IOSS number that we can use for our customers. But the rules are that an IOSS number is required upon entry, and we can support you with that. Correct.
Okay, great. I think that concludes all the questions. I don't think we've had any more through. If anybody's got any more, please let me know. You can also take it offline, so feel free to email me directly. I've also put some links. You're welcome. Somebody said thank you, very helpful. You're very welcome. I've also put some links in the chat section here. You might want to copy and paste, and while you've got the chance at the moment to have a look at, there's our shipping rates, a resource hub that we have with lots of information about duties and tax and all sorts of different resources that are helpful for businesses shipping into the EU and beyond. And we've also got a blog about this the change on the 1st of July with all lots of questions and answers in there. It should have everything you need. But also, if there's anything in particular that you're not sure about, what I'm going to do is just put my email address in here as well. If there's anything that is not included in the call today, you didn't want to put anything on the chat or anything like that, just feel free to drop us an email directly. We can take it offline and talk about it separately if you've got a specific requirement or there's a question specific to your business. And I think that would be about it. I don't think there's any more questions at all. Is there anything else you want to conclude with, Ben?
No, I think that's good for me. Thank you very much. Appreciate you joining the call, and we look forward to continue to support our customers after July the 1st. Any
Brilliant.
questions, always get in touch.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated.
Thank
And I'll
you very
speak
much.
to you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Simon, leave the call open for a bit in case anyone needs to get the links off the
Yeah.
chat.
Exactly half an hour. How about that? I've recorded it as well, so that'll be we can send that out as a link to that. All right, happy?
All right, I think we're good. We've got a couple people on the call still, but I don't know if they need any more information.
Right, I'll just give you a minute or so just to copy down any information that came up from in the chat section. Okay, I think I'm going to conclude it right there. All right.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.